Hello YouTube and welcome to my workshop. Today I got us a regular Florida live oak, piece of Florida live oak to turn. It's got quite a few holes in it, and I don't know if you can see them. So there's probably going to be some critters in there, some worms or something. Wood boring bugs, they're called. This also has some cracks in here, and I'm going to start turning it, and at some point if it looks like it's not going to hold together, I'll just quit and pitch it in the wood pile, or in a firewood pile. But until then, I think it might turn out to be something. I don't like to get rid of anything unless I absolutely have to. So not everything's firewood, regardless of what people believe. So, but with that, let's get started. Alrighty, so I'm going to start with my 5/8 inch bull gouge, and we brought up the tailstock to help secure it, to keep it safe. Running almost 600 RPM. It's actually pretty balanced. So also want to say that you might not have noticed the bark had already been taken off of it. It didn't stay on this piece of wood. I love turning wood that keeps the bark. The outcome is always much better, but there's no saving this bark. So alright, that's pretty much straightened out the side of the bowl. Now I'm going to go ahead and reposition the camera so we can just start working on the bottom and the shape of the bowl. Alrighty, let me get this turned around. I probably ought to cut the hole for the medallion. Just gotta make sure it's deep enough. I'll do it later because still got to take this tenon off, and sometimes I do it before, and then sometimes I do it, but I'll just do it after. I take the tenon off, and then I can do all that. Go. Looking good. Now we just gotta get some. Holy cow, that thing gotta be a nasty crack. Yeah, a couple of them. You do this, you get in tight, then I'll come back and get the other. Yeah, when it's dry like this, when the wood's dry, it's a bear to cut. Just really dulls the tools, but that's okay. It just means that once it's done, it's not going to move much. Yeah, it's chattering pretty good because of these cracks. It's like making music. All right. I just got to clean out this middle stuff now. I think the edge is perfect. for that. If you prefer music during these cutting parts, or if you prefer just to watch the cutting and no music. Also, right here I'm sped up 5 times on the video, mainly because the video would be way too long if I didn't, because it takes time to make these bowls, right? So but if you want more of regular speed, let me know, and I'll make sure to do that. You know what? This is one of those times when my scraper, the scraper right here, got me out of trouble because I wasn't sure how I was going to do this bottom, and we're getting close to where I'm running out of wood too. So I do have to do a little bit more, but it really does help clean up all that stuff. I do have it's leaving a kind of a rough edge though that I'm going to have to sand, because I don't have a cutter that will cut. What I need to do is I need to grind one of my gouges to be able to cut more of an angle, so for the bottom gouge. So I just don't have it right now. Actually, I might have one right here. Let me try this one. I don't know if it's sharp, but we'll try it. Awesome. I haven't used that gouge in so long, I forgot I had it. You did a great job, didn't it? Clean that right up. Awesome. Love it. Alright, so I got the bowl all sanded. It's nice and soft, and you see these big cracks, this big crack, a big crack here, and it just happens. Sometimes it just, I don't know, just some bowls crack more than others. I do my best to try to keep that from happening, but some of them still crack. But anyway, there's holes from bugs. I don't worry about them. I'm not going to do anything with them. But the cracks I'm going to fill with epoxy putty called Milliput. Milliput is a 2-part epoxy putty, and it works really well. And I've used it quite a bit. I like using black because it just goes with the bowl. I have a brown one, but it looks kind of generic. I don't care for the brown one. But anyway, the black works pretty good. And I'll just do the big cracks, a few of the little cracks. Maybe not all the cracks, but just the ones I know that need to be stabilized so the bowl's not moving. Right now I can move chunks of the wood. But I mean, this is the kind of bowl that's going to end up on a shelf. It's going to end up on a table. Somebody's throwing their keys in. I get that. It's not. People don't normally eat out of these bowls. They usually just, they like them because they're rustic and they're made of Florida live oak, and which has a lot of character. Florida live oak does. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and fill in these cracks, and then tomorrow I'll be able to sand it all down, and then we'll come around and I'll finish the bottom, and I'll bring you back for that, and then we'll do a reveal after that. So stay tuned. Alright, now we're going to remove the tenon off the bottom of this bowl. I'm going to do it this way. I've got a block here with some kind of fabric. I don't know what you call it. It's a non-stick fabric or whatever, or non-skid fabric. Put this on there. Tighten this down. There we go. Kind of get as straight as I can. Turn it against the block. The fabric keeps it held on there, you know, keeps it from slipping. And I use this to remove the tenon. So wood turners already kind of know what I'm doing, but I'm telling it for folks who may not know what I'm doing. I'm going to cut this off. Because I'm having to do this way, and I could have drilled a hole before for the medallion, but I was afraid I would go too deep past where I needed to be and causing a problem coming through the bottom of the bowl. This way I can just remove the tenon, check the thickness, put it on my drill press, and then drill the hole for the medallion. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this going. There we go. Now, as I do this, I'm going to push into the bowl, not across this way, because that can cause the bowl to get off balance and maybe even lose the bowl. Alright, so what I'll do now, well, we had a little bit more groove stuff in there. Get rid of those tool marks. At the end, I'll just, you know, sand what's left over. Pretty much that's it. So now I'm going to go over to the drill press. I'll remove this nub at the same time as I'm drilling the hole. Okay, the medallion hole. It only goes in about an eighth of an inch, maybe 3/16. Okay, and that's the foot of the bowl. So that's that part. And I'll come back when everything's done, everything is polished up. Okay, and we'll go from there. Alright everybody, the bowl is finished. Here it is. Here's the bottom. Look at the design in that bowl. Mother Nature made this design. I didn't make it. I just found it when I turned the bowl, right? Isn't that something? Now I did have to add some resin in some of the cracks because the bowl was kind of unstable. Right here is probably the largest amount of resin that I had to add right there. So I added the black. It kind of blended in with the bowl better, I think. And in the bottom, add a little bit of resin. Added some resin across here. Okay, but it kind of blended with that whole crack. That's a crack that ran across there. Nice thing is the wood was dry, and that's going to keep it from moving too much more. If it was wet when I did all this, by experience I learned this. You take a wet bowl and it's got cracks, and you try to do something with resin. Once the bowl dries, it's all going to crack again. So this should stay fairly stable. So, all right. I just oiled it. That's what you see. It's kind of wet looking. I use Mahoney's walnut oil on this kind of work, on these rustic bowls. It does a really good job. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for sticking it out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Until next time, God bless and have a good day.